Hello class 2. So today we're going to be doing some English together. We're going to look at a poem. So I'm going to read the poem to you and then we're going to talk about what we are doing. The poem is called The Sound Collector. A stranger called this morning, dressed all in black and grey, put every sound into a bag and carried them away. The whistling of the kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock, the popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes. When you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes. The hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill. The drumming of the raindrops on the window pane. When you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain. The crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. A stranger called this morning. He didn't leave his name, left us only silence. Life will never be the same. And that was written by Roger McGough. I'm going to read it to you one more time. Listen really carefully and think about what's happening in the poem. So it's called The Sound Collector. A stranger called this morning, dressed all in black and grey, put every sound into a bag and carried them away. The whistling of the kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock, the popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes. When you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes. The hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill. The drumming of the raindrops on the window pane. When you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain. The crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. A stranger called this morning. He didn't leave his name, left us only silence. Life will never be the same. So have a think, what is the poem about? What do you think the poem is all about? I think the poem is about a stranger who's a bit like a burglar. Let's go back here. So a stranger called this morning, dressed all in black and grey. So we don't know who this person is. And the person's dressed all in black and grey. Burglars often dress in dark clothes so they can hide themselves. Put every sound into a bag. So it's like the stranger is stealing the sounds, because then the stranger carries them away. Is this stranger a man or a woman, do you think? Let's have a look and see if we can find out. So if we go down here, I'm looking for any words that say he, or she, or his, or her. Let's have a look. Can you remember from before when we've read it? Is the stranger a he or a she? The clue is in this section of the poem here. It's called a verse. Each one of these sections of the poem is called a verse. So in this verse, it tells us if the stranger is a man or a woman. Brilliant, it's a man, and I can tell because it says he and it says his, so that means it's a male, it's a man. Okay, so I think the poem is about a stranger who's a bit like a burglar going into somebody's house and stealing all of the sounds. Let's have a look over here. What sounds can you remember the sound collector collecting? Let's go back and check. So have a little think, what sounds did he collect? Let's see if we can find any in here. I'm going to underline some of the sounds. Okay, so the whistling of the kettle. What's the sound in that line of the poem? The whistling of the kettle. Brilliant, the whistling. I'm going to read out 3 more lines and I want you to tell me what the sounds are that he collected. The turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock. what were the three sounds? The turning sound, the purring of the kitten, and the ticking of the clock. I can almost hear those sounds as I'm reading it. See if you can hear a whistle, a turning clock, a purring kitten, and a tick, 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 ticking clock. Let's see if we can find some more sounds. The popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes. When you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes. What are the sounds? Brilliant. That pop that the toaster makes when the toast comes up. Crunching cornflakes when you're eating them. When you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes. So on your toast, when you're scraping something on it, the scraping noise it makes. The hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bubble bath as it starts to fill. What sounds can you hear in that part of the poem? The hissing sound, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling. So when you're filling water, that bubbling noise that you can hear sometimes. Brilliant. Lots of sounds that he's collecting up from this house. The drumming of the raindrops. I can hear them, look. Drumming. When you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain. So the drumming of the raindrops, the gurgle, gurgle, gurgle of the drain. The crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. So the crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, creaking of the stair. Brilliant. And that's all the sounds. And then he left silence. So that means there were no more sounds left. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on something called visualising today. When we visualise, we imagine what a picture looks like using what we've read. So visualising is seeing that picture in your mind. So when you read a story, usually the illustrator draws a picture for you. We don't have a picture with this poem today, so you're going to draw the picture that matches the writing in the poem. Everyone will visualise in a slightly different way because we all have different imaginations, but we should all include the important parts. So we need to look at the text and find what we will see if the text had a picture. Let's do that together. I'm going to underline everything we might see in the picture. Okay, and then we're also going to fill in some extra information. Okay, so let's have a look at the poem again on here. So a stranger. So imagine you've got a blank piece of paper and it says a stranger called this morning. So you need to draw the stranger. Okay, so we're going to draw the stranger. We know that the stranger is a man. So I'm going to be drawing a picture of a man. We know that he's dressed in black and grey. Doesn't tell us what clothes he's wearing, so that's why you can use your imagination and you can decide. Is he wearing a black cloak? Or is he wearing black trousers and a black hoodie? Is he wearing a black onesie? It's up to you, but it's got to be in black and grey. What's he carrying with him? So we need to draw that thing. So we're going to draw the stranger and he's going to be carrying something. What's he carrying with him? Brilliant, he's carrying a bag with him. Now, when we are drawing a bag of a burglar, what kind of bag might it be? I think it's kind of like a swag bag that burglars wear. So it might be a kind of bag that looks like this, that goes over his shoulder, a bit like a sack. Okay? But that's my imagination. You might imagine him with a different kind of bag. So, where is he? What building do you think this stranger's in? Is he in a school? Is he in a shopping centre? Where do you think the stranger is? I think he's in a house, isn't he? So I might draw him in a house. So I might draw a big house on my paper with a man inside the house. Let's have a look what rooms might be in the house. Which room is he in? So he's in a room where there's a kettle. There's a kitten in the room. The kitten could be in any room. There's a clock. There's a toaster. People are eating cornflakes and they're eating toast with marmalade. So which room do you think the sound collector might be in? Yeah, I think he might start off in the kitchen of the house. So I might draw the kitchen. Now there's some things that are in the kitchen. We know there's a toaster. We know there's a clock. What else might be in the kitchen? Because you need to fill in the missing pieces from the picture that we don't describe. So in the kitchen, I think there's going to be a table. So people are sitting at the table eating their breakfast. There might be a washing machine in the kitchen. There's probably going to be a sink in there, isn't there? Probably an oven so people can cook their food. It's definitely going to be a toaster. And then I need to draw the kitten somewhere in there as well. Let's have a look to see if there are any other rooms in this house. Oh, so we're going to have a frying pan in our kitchen. Do we have a bathtub in the kitchen usually? No. So this house might have 2 rooms in it. So when you draw your house, you might have 2 rooms, a bathroom and a kitchen. Your bathroom might be upstairs, because I know that there is an upstairs, because here later on it says the creaking of the stair. Okay, so we know there's a bathroom and the bath's running. There's water in the bath. There's windows in the house because it's raining. Maybe you could show the rain on the outside of the house. There's a baby and a chair. Maybe the baby's in a high chair. And all the other people in the house might be sitting down on some other chairs at a table. We know there's some curtains and we know there are some stairs. So lots of things that you can include in your picture. So on a piece of paper, I want you to draw a picture of the sound collector. What colour is he wearing? What is he carrying? What things is he putting in the bag? So in his bag, you might put some of the things that he's collected. Now he hasn't put the toaster in there, has he? He's put the sound in there. So I might write pop, because he's done the popping of the toaster. And he's put the whistle of the kettle. So he hasn't put the kettle in there, but he's put the whistling noise. So I might do that whistling noise. Whistling. Oh dear, it's really hard to write on this. I'm sorry that I haven't got very neat handwriting. So he's got whistling, and we've got the purring of the kitten. So I'm going to do a long purring noise. Lots of R's on there. Oh, I'm sorry, this is dreadful handwriting, everybody. So we've got that purring noise in the bag. Okay, so you could draw that on your picture so the noise is inside the bag. Which room do you think he's in? Well, we've talked about that. I think he starts off in the kitchen, but we know there's also a bathroom in the house. Think about what else might be in the room. I can't wait to see your pictures. So I've sent your grown-ups a copy of that poem. So you can read the poem again if you want to. If it helps you, you can underline the parts of the poem that are going to be included in your picture. So you can go back like I did and you can put some lines underneath the things in your picture. Or if you want to, you can rewind this video and you can listen to me reading the poem again so that you've heard it lots of times so you know all the things that are going to be in there. Really looking forward to seeing your pictures, class 2. Have fun. Bye.